time. Hey you guys, what up? It's me, it's your boy Dodgemort. Welcome back to the stream. Today I'm gonna be playing some Hearthstone battlegrounds because I am tired. I am actually exhausted. I haven't been able to actually sit down on my chair since I woke up. It's been a hell of a fucking weekend. Been a busy boy during most of it. I don't know, I'm feeling a bit weird for the last couple of days. I don't understand what it is. But more or less, I don't know, it's just... I don't know, I'm feeling unmotivated. Let's put it this way. I've been sleeping much, much better. Which is why I'm kind of like, why am I having this moment of like, I don't know, weirding out, I guess. It's not like me to be so down the weather. I don't have appetite. I haven't eaten... Well, I have eaten all right for the last 2 days, but I haven't eaten as much as I did usually. My workouts have been exactly the same, but I've just... I don't know. It's... I feel like some kind of weird fatigue is over me, you know? And I don't understand it. Could be a billion things, I guess. Been watching The Sopranos in the meantime. I am now on the start of season 4. It's been a really good watch. I actually quite enjoy it. I'm shocked that I hadn't had the opportunity to sit down and watch it prior. But yeah. It's just something else. Right, let's, what do we want? Let's do a quick elemental run. But yeah, I don't know. It's, how do I put this? I feel like I'm a bit stuck. You know? I feel like... I don't know, so it's been a really good year for me. Well, ups and downs. But it's been overall a good year for me. It's a little bit... I'm turning a bit introspective because around this time last year, I was basically packing to leave the UK forever. As I intend to, actually. I don't plan on ever coming back to the UK. That place is slowly deteriorating for the worst. Like, with every single year passing. With every new legislation and PMs and everything like that that they have, it's just obvious that, you know, it's going down the gutters. They don't have free speech. They don't have freedom of expression. The police are too busy arresting people for mean tweets and stuff they say on Facebook rather than actual crimes. And I wish it was a joke. I honestly wish it was a joke that that's the case. However, two of my good friends actually had both of their motorbikes stolen from underneath our house. There was a construction site right next to us that actually had cameras on it. They refused to give the information to the police. They opened and closed the case like 3 or 5 times in between those two numbers for the span of, I think, about 3 or 4 months. And we basically figured out who it was purely because my friends had basically posted on a Facebook group that were like, you know, looking for stolen vehicles. And, you know, we found the guy. He was sitting on one of the motorcycles that he stole. And it was obviously stolen because he basically had like a leather glove shoved in the hubcap, so because it was obviously broken off. If people don't know, hubcaps are only openable with the key for the vehicle. So what these guys were doing were basically just stealing motorcycles, breaking the if they wanted to use them, they would break the hubcap, they would like short circuit them, short wire them, so they could work. And they would just like have fun with them in the nearby forest until they get completely totaled. And at that point, they just leave them. They just leave them. So one of the motorcycles we basically didn't even see footage of. We didn't see it. I'm guessing it was disassembled or sold whole. Or it's been disassembled in parts and sold. And the one that we recognized was found in a parking spot, I think 5 months after the fact, torched and completely totaled. You want to know the funniest bit that was the entirety of the happening? Whenever they initially called the police went, yeah, go. You need to basically go online and fill this like application or something like that. That was like for the reporting the stolen vehicle. And they got and the guy on the phone was like, "Well, I have you on the phone right now. Can we do this right now?" And they were like, "No." At which point the other guy, who noticeably pissed because he just had his bike stolen, basically went typical, and the police officers overheard that and gave them lip for it. Do you believe that? You get 2 motorcycles stolen. You call the police. They tell you to fill out an online like document instead of actually helping you out. And whenever you fucking complain about the fact that they're not doing their fucking job, they give you lip. They talk back to you like this is disrespectful and you're not supposed to do it. Now, don't get me wrong. I actually don't dislike the police. I actually like the police. I like that we have a police force. I like the fact that we have somebody who enforces the peace around here. However, if you're gonna be a piece of shit who just abuses his power whenever it's comfortable for them, if you're a piece of shit that just sits in a desk and just fucking scrolls through Facebook to find some old geriatric guy that to fucking imprisoned just because he said something mean online, you're not a police officer, you're scum. You're scum and human trash. And these are the people who want to dictate how how much access to the internet you will have. What you can say in the internet. I'm so glad the UK got fucking removed from the European Union. I'm so glad they left. Because this is just a country that, like, the second they started going into progressive politics, it's been going downhill. It's been going downhill severely. These people don't know what they want. These people don't know how to do stuff. They've been taxing everything that they can figure out for 200 years, and somehow the treasury is still empty. Can you explain this shit to me? They had a new king elected. Do you remember how the roads looked? They had it filled with sand. Every pothole was filled with sand, so his golden chariot can stroll through. This is the state of the UK. The idea of grandeur is the state of UK. So yeah, I have no intentions of returning to that place ever. But yeah, that was one of it. That was the fact that there was no policing whatsoever in the appropriate way, except for obviously the Christmas peacekeepers that have to exist with their semi-automatic weapons in front of every single Christmas market. You know what I miss? Not having them around the Christmas markets. Or the fact that they were necessary to exist there. Now, don't get me wrong. We have a couple of peacekeepers around my place as well. But guess what? It wasn't because somebody actually did something, it was because somebody else did something somewhere else. So we're taking safety precautions now. Around that time last year, I was in the lowest point that I ever could be. I didn't have any money, didn't have a girlfriend. The girlfriend had broken up with me, and she, not shortly after, found somebody else. The point where, by the time I recovered, which, by the way, it took me 3 months, we were together for 3.5 years. You know, it takes me a little bit of time to recover from that, emotionally. Only for me to find that out on my own, confront her about it, and for her to say, despite the fact that she was the one who previously established that we should stay friends, after, if anything bad happens to our relationship, we should stay friends afterwards. That was her ask of me at the start of the relationship. And I tried to honor it as much as I could. However, whenever your ex has to find out that you're seeing somebody in this way, which was extremely hurtful, I don't think you are actually looking for a friend. I don't think you want us to stay friends. And despite all of that, I said it's a really good thing for you to actually find somebody to be next to you. Because you're a good person and you deserve to be loved. That's exactly what I said to her. And the only thing that I got in response later on was basically when we met for the first we were basically cat sitting. She was the cat was basically somewhere near our place, and she knows that I fucking love that animal, so she invites me over to basically have like a little chat and also take care of the cat in the meantime. Also, the cat really liked men, so makes it a little bit easier for her. And I'm gonna share this here because it's been on my mind for a little bit too long. But basically, as she was approaching me, she was on the phone with him, and thinking that she's far enough away from me, she says, "I love you" to him. It took me 1 year to confess that to her. 3 months is all it takes for this guy. She said it back. I have nothing else to add. They're living together now. Something that we intended to do ages ago. She wasn't ready initially, then I ran out of money, and I couldn't do it anymore. And she thought that was a sign that I didn't want to have anything to do with her. So, yeah. I feel like that might be one of it. I feel like that might be a part of it, I've been single since. So it's been... What's that like? 1.5 years? Maybe 2 years now. And I'm not bitter about it anymore. It's just painful memories around the same time of the year. But yeah, I was packing my shit and I was leaving for here. As a matter of fact, in about 4 more days, I'd say, I would have left the UK for the last time. It's been a hell of a ride since. Took care of my grandma for about 3 months before she broke her hip. Then I was, fully into intensive care with her. Visited her almost every single day in the hospital. Was by her side every single day since she, since the day she came back home. She's been recovering nicely. It takes her a little bit of time, but the lady's 81 years old. I can't blame her. I cannot blame her. 8th place, of course. I mean, that's what happens whenever you're playing Chenvala, an elemental-centric character, and you get elementals at turn 5. Right. I seem to be in a bit of a foul mood, so, I'll try to... You know what I'll do? I'll try to keep it nice and relaxed. But if I start going off on angry tangents, I might have to stop the stream. Because I feel like it's disrespectful towards people who are watching to, like, just sit here and listen to me yelling into my microphone about my problems. I'm sure it's gonna pass. It's... It's just a bit frustrating to think about. You know what the wildest bit is? I don't feel... How do I put this? I don't even feel... How do I put this? I don't feel bitter about what she did. Mainly because I'm, you know, as much as, you know, she did shit to me, she's still a good person. She's still doing a really good job. She's, you know, she's a functioning adult. Which is fine by her. We were, you know, more or less we were two completely different upbringings. Despite being in the same town, same school. Hell, even same year. But she has no family values whatsoever. I can't respect that. I cannot respect that. She was ready to abandon her entire family except for her aunt. Hell, she actually kind of did. She's still in the UK. Like, that's where she's establishing herself. She seems to have no no setup whatsoever, or plans whatsoever for her to come back to here, come back to Bulgaria, more or less. Which, all the power to her, if you ask me. But I don't think it's right. No. My intention for staying in the UK for that long was mainly to get an education, get a good job, and then... Oh, what's that? Oh, that's Tamsin. I haven't seen that one before. Get an education, get a decent paying job, and eventually come back home. Because I have family and friends. I have a lot of friends who are here. A lot of the friends that I had in the UK, well, either we lost contact because they were from the UK and they were busy with their own things, or... How do I put this? All of my Bulgarian friends came back. Currently, we have only one actual friend that lives in the UK. But what rubs me off the most, rubs me the wrong way the most out of this situation was the small fact that, you know, when we cut ties with her, she just cut ties with all of our mutual friends as well. That, and also the fact that she gave me no personal space whatsoever whenever I asked for it. It was one of the main reasons why we broke up. It was a small fact that, like, sometimes I need my space. Especially because of my past. Because, let's be honest, I didn't have exactly the perfect childhood. I was... How do I say this without it sounding that bad. Because I was... okay, I'll put it this way. Because I was a little shit, I was frequently physically abused. Verbally abused by my brother sometimes. Did I deserve it? Partially, yes. I will admit, I was a shit. However, nobody actually decided to ever sit me down and tell me why I'm wrong. I was just beaten. Or hit. And certain things made absolutely no sense towards me. And also the small fact that, you know, I was basically mainly abused because I didn't want to... well, I basically didn't want to study as much. So I was being, you know, physically abused to more or less study more. Which, surprise, surprise, made me study even less. And whenever I had to re-enter, because the way grades work here is basically between grade 4 and 5 and 7 and 8 out of 12, you get to choose whether you want to stay in that same school or you want to move to a different one. And the different schools basically have different, you know, GPAs that are required for you to enter. And the school that I was in from 4th till 7th grade was basically a high school for mathematics. And mathematics was the core thing that you would learn. However, math, 7th grade math, especially at the time, was very difficult for me. Mostly because I didn't... you know, because of the situation that I was in, I didn't want to study. I didn't want to. And sure, if I applied myself, I probably would have succeeded just fine. But instead, what happened is that my grandmother decided that I need to... listening to funny man explaining math as a pancake. It's not exactly the funniest thing out there, I'm sorry about that. I'm feeling a bit under the weather. It's just one of those days, you know? So I'm just reminiscing. But yeah, more or less they got me this math teacher that I had to go to. My brother went to him as well, but my brother is also way more academically inclined than I am. Mostly because nobody actually forced him to do any of it. He was just interested in it. And even if he wasn't interested, they were going, yeah, fine, this is good, he's capable in these things. However, this was not the case for me. So what happened during 7th grade was that I basically visited this guy who more or less would check the question. He would give me, like, you know, stuff to solve, and I would solve it. And most of the time I would have, like, a couple of mistakes. But basically, it was like a trade-off. For every single mistake I made on that thing, he would basically verbally abuse me. Basically telling me that I'm a donkey, I'm an idiot, that I wouldn't accomplish anything in life, that I'm stupid. And I genuinely felt at that time that a part of my joy in life just rotted away. You know what the worst part out of all of this is? Because it was so bad that at some point I was hiding in the closet that we had, crying. Like full-on crying, not wanting to go there. And my grandma at the time thought it was because I was a spoiled shit. And I confronted her about this not too long ago. She doesn't remember any of it. Doesn't remember any of it. Can't blame her, she's 81. At the time, she would have been... God. In her 70s? No, 60-something. I would say 66, 7. Something around that. So I can't blame her for not remembering this kind of stuff. However, it doesn't mitigate the small fact that, you know, this man has basically just been the bane of my existence for that time. Not to mention the small fact that as my grades were declining, it was also... it was also... How do I even put this? It was not enforced on me, but I was basically not allowed to go to my friends' birthday parties. A lot of them, as a matter of fact. I was only allowed to go to my closest friends' birthday parties. And, I don't know if you know this, but if you get invited to somebody's birthday party for 1 or 2 years consecutively, and you say you're gonna show up, and then you don't show up, most people stop inviting you altogether. Because what's the point? But yeah, I got over that. I got into some really bad habits during that time as well. Some of which are still persistent to this very day, which is great. Had to learn several different coping mechanisms and all of that. And, you know, I had the opportunity to talk to my grandmother about these kinds of things back, you know, from way back when. And obviously she doesn't remember them, but she still feels bad about them. And, you know, as much as she wants to forgive her about these kinds of things, I simply cannot, because what is there to forgive? She doesn't remember it. It wasn't as impactful for her as it was for me. So it would just bring further grief to her for no apparent reason. There's no point. So I dropped it. No point in feeling bitter about something that happened a decade ago anymore. But yeah, the last year for me, it was basically... I don't know. I felt like it was penance. Penance for the time I didn't spend with my family. Penance for the time that I divulged to my ungrateful ex. Instead of spending it with my family again. Not calling as frequently as I should have. So yeah. I've been paying dividends this year. And I'm glad I'm ending this year on a high note. Because as bad as things were throughout throughout this year sometimes, it still wasn't that bad. I had a lot of friends, I had a lot of family that were around me. So yeah, I've had some really good friends around me to keep me sane during these times. And I truly feel blessed about that. It's just this, this part of the year definitely... I don't know. Just before the Christmas seasons and stuff like that, especially. I don't know why, it just gets me. Emotionally. So even if I do sound upset, I'm not as upset as as I usually would be. It's just that, after you've held on for a little bit too long, it kind of just starts bursting a little bit at the seams, and that's, that's on me. I shouldn't be letting it, fester for that long. But yeah, it's been tough but worth it. Got a couple of new white hairs in my head. On my head, I should say. Now there's only one last thing that I would like to visit. And that would be for me to actually, you know, step up my game a little bit when it comes to my actual interests, if that makes sense. Because so far I've more or less been sitting on survival mode for God knows how long. Like, I've not been living, I've been surviving for a decent amount of time now. But yeah, hopefully everybody else's day is, you know, doing better than mine. And to be honest with you, you know, if I could do anything differently for this year, I don't think I would. Maybe I would have been worried about my grandmother's spills a little bit earlier, but that's pretty much it. Like, it's been rough. Been rough. Also, since the Christmas season is coming around, I would say from next Saturday, from this Saturday, I would say my streaming schedule was probably gonna go down the shitter. As I would basically be spending that time, you know, enjoying the holidays, living life. There might be some on and off streams, I don't know. We'll see. Because my brother is gonna be over, and there's a couple of two-player games that we could basically sit down and play with him. He's feeling like it. You know, do a little bit of a brotherly stream time. That might be nice. As long as he's up for it, obviously. We could play some of the Lego games that I have from Steam. Yeah, I don't know. It's I was actually gonna try to make a point out of all of the shit that I said up until now. I'm fairly certain it was something along the lines that, you know, despite all of the bullshit that has happened to me throughout these years, I still to this day, you know, value my family immensely. So, you know, my ex not being there for hers is just antithetic for me. Should I just leave the setup like this? This feels alright. Ultimately, my setup is kind of done. All I need is, you know, more Macaw power, more Titus, triple all of the other minions that are tripleable. Maybe after 2 more turns, we'll swap out from these 2 into Blood Gem generation, because I already have the Refiner. Definitely doing a little bit better than last game. But yeah, I feel like it's seasonal depression. I feel like the last couple of days I've been in seasonal depression for no reason. Other than, you know, I need to have a little bit of a low before I get the Christmas high or something. Didn't end up seeing my cousin yesterday, which was great, my older cousin. He, you know, I would have liked if he called prior to announce that he was gonna come around, but can't blame him. He's absolutely free at the moment. Probably bored out of his mind. Because the poor guy, well, poor guy. He basically set himself up this way. Him and his girlfriend basically live in, It's technically a village, but it's now considered a city complex. And he has like he's managing his parents' hotel there. Has like a villa right next to it. But it's like, you know, it's a holiday resort type of location. And it's mostly for the summer. So during the winter, there's almost nobody in that place. So, you know, if he decides that he wants to come around, you know, shoot the shit with me every now and then, that's fine by me. So this guy is still quite tough despite all of the gains that I'm making. What's that? What's that? After you play a Blood Gem on this cast, Blood Gem Barrage. What the hell? That's insane. I hadn't seen that one before. $13-17 Blood Gems, not bad. Anybody else playing Quillbore? No. Okay, I think I might be safe. I'm keeping that one. But yeah, man, last year during these days, I basically had like maybe 100-200 euros to my name. Total. Wasn't working. Was miserable. Was living in a 4x3 room most of the time. Where I barely had enough space to basically store everything that I had. I was in an environment that was both toxic and unhealthy for me. It's been a hell of a year. Now I'm, you know, I have more money, that's for sure. I'm streaming not because I'm desperate to make it as a streamer. I'm streaming because I actually enjoy it as an activity. It's like it's one of the few social things that I allow myself. Yeah, actually, it's the most appropriate way to say it. It's one of the few social things that I allow myself to do. Because I know that I'm, you know, I have a social battery that runs a little bit weird. So if I stay around people for a little bit too long, I'll basically be like, it wouldn't be like I'm feeling emotionally and mentally drained. I would basically start working on the fritz. Like, if you know how the AI chatbots tend to hallucinate every now and then, that basically is what happens to me. I feel like every now and then the amount of information that I have absorbed in social situations just becomes a little bit too much for me, and I just kinda... Oh wow, this guy's getting destroyed. Yeah, I think it might be time for me to get rid of the other generators. Maybe. What else has changed? Oh yeah, my room is like almost 3 times the size. And I have a terrace. Which I have another topic that I would like to address afterwards regarding that terrace, because I recently had like a funny little thing happen. But yeah, it's just, you know, as much life has been tough to me during this time, the end of the year feels like it's ending on a positive note. My grandma is recovering from her broken hip. She's no longer, like, zoinked off her gourd on drugs. And I mean, like, medical drugs, not, you know. She's feeling fine. She's enjoying her time. Tomorrow I have to go get her the new newspaper so she can do her crossword puzzles that she enjoys so much. She calls her friends. Her friends visit her every now and then. My brother is gonna be coming over this Saturday. They're gonna chill around here until maybe the 26th, the 27th, and then they're gonna go back to Sofia for New Year's. I'm probably gonna stay around here for now. I don't know. Maybe I'll see my cousin. My younger cousin, I should say. I have two first cousins from my mother's side. One of them is 10 years older than me, exactly. Well, 10 years and 1 day older. And my younger cousin is basically like, I think it's a year and 3 months, but it basically chalks down to like 2 years difference. Actually, no, it might be 2 years, 3 months. Yes, it's 2 years, 3 months. But yeah, she's great. I need to go see them a little bit more often as well. It's been a while. Like every single time we see each other, her girlfriend basically goes like, "Oh, we should absolutely hang out more often." And I'm like, "That sounds absolutely amazing. We probably should," and we just forget to organize anything. Either that or I ask to organize something and then it basically turns out that it's happening exactly at a time when we're actually just gonna meet because there's something else still related to, you know, having to meet each other. Which is a bit funny. I'm also gonna have to make her girlfriend tiramisu. That's the one thing that I'm now, how do I put this, hailed about? Is the fact that my tiramisu is basically godlike when it comes to its quality. Which, to be honest with you, is a big honor for me. I quite, you know, I appreciate the fact that my craft work in the kitchen is appreciated. So I don't mind it at all that she would like me to make one. Well, she didn't say anything about it. I was like, well, you know, my cousin said she really likes tiramisu. And I was like, well, because I also have this little thing where basically I like to balance the good with the bad in this world. And I'm talking about myself as well. So if I'm doing something very positive about myself, I also have to do something, you know, harmful to myself in the meantime, so I can balance things out. It keeps it in a nice little level, and you know, every single up and down actually has like a really good up and a really bad down. Which is both great and not at the same time, for obvious reasons. But, yeah, basically, gonna say something. Jesus, brain, come on. Actually, yeah, no, that's a really good way to put it. So, I'll eat, for example, like 3 servings of tiramisu in one sitting. I would feel bad about myself, and then I'll work out severe, you know, compensating for all of those calories that I just ate. Or, for example, I am generally nice to every single person that I meet, especially the people that are in working services and stuff like that, if you know what I mean. Basically, the grocery people. Or people that work in shops and stuff like that. I make sure that I'm particularly nice to those people, because God knows that they're gonna have some other shit on their head. And, you know, making sure that these guys actually have, like, a good time and everything, whenever they meet me and stuff like that is, like, an imperative for me. It's important. Make sure that, you know, it makes people feel a little bit more welcome during their daytime, and, you know, it's a nice positive thing to do. Oh, I'm not gonna win this one, eh? Left, 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 thank you. Okay, we get one more turn. But here's the thing. That thing has a backside to it, which is that you piss me off. Hell's not gonna save you, buddy. I have an unnatural level of aggression when it comes to somebody doing me wrong, and I was gonna mention something prior to this, if you remember. Basically, yesterday, I figured out that somebody had egged my window. I live on the 1st floor. I look outside towards my window and I see some weird, you know, something smudged on my fucking window. So I go outside and investigate, and it's a fucking egg. It's half fucking dried off. There's still some liquidy bits on it, so it means that it's not super old. It's fairly recent. But it basically hit the top of the window, and it had basically, you know, slimed itself all the way down. So I'm... in that exact moment when I found that out, I was so... how do I even put this? It wasn't anger at this point. It was just malice. And I was hoping that some fucking idiot kid decides to do that shit again, so I can go outside with my aluminum bat, grab him, and if he tries to run away, I chase him and I beat the shit out of him with the aluminum bat. And if he doesn't run, I'll drag him over to my room and I'm gonna force him to clean up the fucking egg mess that he made. Because that's the only right way for him to repent. Me beating the shit out of him is not gonna give him a good lesson. But if he ran, if he escaped, fuck. You think I don't know everybody in this fucking town? You think I don't have connections? I would have found that fucking kid in less than 2 days. And not only him, I would have found out about his mom, his dad's work, anything. Anything that I needed as information, I have ways to find out what it is. I'm not, you know, I'm not electronically inept. So I would have found him, I would have found his family, I would have contacted his family, would have told him about what he did, or what they did, I should say. I shouldn't discriminate, but I'm fairly certain it's gonna be a little shithead boy. And yeah, I would have done the exact same thing. I would have asked them to bring him over so he can fix up the mess he made. But by God, if they resisted, then it would have been bad. Because no matter how expensive eggs are, I would have covered their entire fucking flat. Not just the kids, it would have been his extended family as well. We're talking second cousins included. Egged. Everything. I have more than enough friends in this place. So yeah, I'm just waiting patiently to see if there's not gonna be another shitheel thinking that they're the top shit, basically trying to egg my fucking house. Man, I'm not... It doesn't look good. I might be losing this. Although the final trades are basically what gets me every time. Though I don't think I have enough status this time around to basically do it. Last time I was almost on even ground because I had another death rattle trigger and I don't have... Actually. Nah, we ain't taking any chances. Guess I could take the Divine Shield, the Gem Splitter. Because... Is it the fucking Hearthstone? Oh, you... Steam decided to update games. It's a great time for it to do something like that. It's great. It would have been nice if I actually had one of those scarabs. Oh, and his Titus is golden. Oh. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna need a second. I'm gonna need a second because I'm starting to get a little bit pissed off. Oh, okay. That's another really good hit for him. That was a really bad hit for me. Okay. Second place. I'll take it. I'll take it. It's not the greatest, but it is what it is. Maybe I shouldn't have gotten rid of my other death rattles. That might have been it. The stat gainage kind of slowed down as much as it could. Let's try to reach 5k today. What else has been on my mind? I mean, there's one thing that's always constantly on my... Well, not constantly, but it's in the back of my mind at all times. One of the cashiers that is working in the nearest shop next to us, like... They have like 5 or 6 different cashiers, but there's one of them. Oh my god. Genuinely one of the most beautiful women that I have seen in my life. Genuinely. Like, it's not even an argument. The only thing is, I don't know how to approach somebody in that position properly. Well, I have some ideas, but, you know. It's a bit of a weird situation. She's, you know... Oh, demons? There's demons? Okay. We can make this happen. But yeah, I've been meaning to compliment her and maybe potentially ask her out for a couple of months. But I also feel like I'm such a huge fucking mess that even if it does, even if I manage to actually properly, you know, talk it out with her and we actually go on a date and we actually start doing stuff together, I feel like I'll just muck it up way too quick, or she's just gonna, you know, be weirded out by some of the shit that I do. I don't know. It's weird. And it's also been so long since I've actually been in a relationship or even flirted with somebody. I've not been in that social situation for about 6 to 7 years now. 6. It should be roughly 6. Like, unlike my ex, I can't just grab onto the next vine and just keep swinging. I'm emotionally invested in every single relationship that I have been. Like, I tend to treat most of my relationships as... this is gonna be it. You know? This might be the one person that I'm growing old with. And I've always treated those relationships that way. I never was not serious about these kinds of things. So even if I do grab that vine like it's a dick! I mean, I certainly hope not. She's gonna choke that vine like, you know, hell. Anyway. But yeah, it's a bit... It's been so long since I've actually had since I've actually been interested in such a way towards somebody else. Like, imagine me and almost... I couldn't resist. No, it's completely fair. I don't blame you for it. But, like, I'm a 27-year-old man. Almost 28. I work out, I take care of my grandmother. You know, I wouldn't say I'm a made man, but I am really close to being a fully made man. And I'm getting 110 BPM just because I saw her? Preposterous. I don't know. So yeah, that's been on my mind for a long while now, and I don't know her, you know, the shifts that she's having always constantly move around and stuff. The last time I've seen her is like maybe a week and a half ago. If I have to trust my intuition, she's probably doing like later shift for today or tomorrow. But she's also, how do I put this? She has that Eastern European coldness to her that is a little bit difficult to interpret, because some women around here, they just have this resting face that looks like they're gonna be mean, or they're upset about something, or they're, you know, they don't... It doesn't extrude an air of approachability. Really good way to put it. So I don't know whether she's just, you know, a little bit pissy because she's at work. If she's a little bit pissy because, you know, she doesn't like me because I'm a little bit of a rat type of guy. Or that could also be the face of a person working in customer service. Exactly my point. Exactly my point. But I can tell that she's not indifferent towards me. Which is good. I would rather have some kind of, you know, I would rather invoke some kind of emotion rather than indifference in people. But yeah, I've been in this situation for a while now where basically, like, I want to say something, but I also don't know how to approach the situation because, like, imagine if I make it awkward. What am I gonna do then? It's the nearest shop next to us. I go there almost every single day for at least one thing. Like, I get my Monster Energy drinks from there. Like, sure, I can get them from there's other shops, obviously, that have the damn thing, but like, why go somewhere else when this is the place where I would usually go to, just because I have to avoid this one person? So I don't make it awkward between us, you know? It's a bit of a... It's a bit of a situation. Not the best. Approaching person who works in a market that is complicated, the person who wouldn't even consider going after. Exactly. Exactly my point. And I was like, oh, maybe... Okay, so here's the thing that I might try to do. Maybe she has a break. Maybe she's taking her breaks every now and then. And maybe I can catch her then. But that seems a little bit dumb. Give people peace at work. Also knowing some weirdos my friends had to deal with working in semi-public work. Case in point, exactly. So I don't want to look like this weirdo that just basically has come around, oogled at her several times, and eventually, you know, just went like, "Oh, you're beautiful. Let's go outside. Let's go to the right place." I don't want to appear like that. But yeah, I've been. That's basically just like a thing. But the problem is that like the inaction is harming. I feel like is harming me more than the action mentally, because like this has been sitting in the back of my head for several months now. Why? Like literally, why? Why would I torture myself with this? So I've been thinking maybe I just don't ask her out. Maybe I just give her the compliment and be done with it. But then again, I know what I would like to try. And I know that I would like to attempt it. However, I would still much rather, you know, do it in a cordial and respectful way that would firstly not weird her out, secondly not make it uncomfortable for her to be at work, knowing that I might show up. I think it's also the problem we have now. We young generations don't have ways to hang out face to face. It's not part of our communal experience. Everybody is online, and that makes forming friendships and falling in love hard. Yeah, that's also another thing to it. As much as we don't like to admit it's true, we are a little bit of a chronically online generation. Gold left. I need gold out until then. We can. Best ways to meet people is while studying or working. Maybe if picked up group sport or something. Yeah, I would say definitely. Or if you know, yeah, studying definitely feels like the best way. But yeah, it's just, kind of hoping the circumstances that we, you know, meet each other were a little bit better. But yeah, I'm guessing at the start of next year I'll probably pick myself up by the bootstraps and ride that New Year high for the first month and try to do some daring shit. Pant card? What? What, paint card? Do you mean paint card? No pant card. What? There was a... Oh, the pants. Yeah. That adds or removes taunt from minions. It's pretty good. Kinda hoping that I can get something a little bit more useful in the good old demon department. By dropping your plate trousers or putting them on. Let me just make myself more comfortable. Dang! Yep, exactly. But yeah, it's also... it might have something to do with the small fact that a whole bunch of my friends are also having kids. Like the visual of dropping the plate pant more. Yeah. Like one of my longest term best friends very recently had his first kid. Like one of my closer friends had a kid a little bit more than a year ago. My acting teacher, one of my actually my first acting teacher, had a baby not too long ago as well. So it's, I don't know. It feels a bit like I'm missing out. I also had the same reaction. My friend finally got a kid and I started reflecting on myself. Yeah. And I don't even want to think about the small fact of, you know, what things were back in the day. Or how things were back in the day. Because that's just gonna be depressing as all hell. Because at the age of 27, my mom would have given birth to, if I'm not mistaken... I think I would have been born already. It's funny, it was this specific friend that triggered the reaction because I have other friends with friends, but this one cut deep. I guess it kinda depends on how close you were to them as well. Okay, I guess we can use that. As the final turn before I get the guy. But yeah, I wouldn't say it was like I'm feeling bad because somebody else is progressing. For I managed to conquer one fear at last, going to jump. That's it. Yeah, no, that's incredibly good. It's really, really, really good, as a matter of fact, that you managed to do that. Not a million years I expected that happening. Yeah. You grow a little bit older, you get a little bit more callous. It comes around with age. You find that. I don't know. It's... Or grow aware of your mortalness. Oh, please! I've been aware of my. I've been aware from my own mortality since I was like maybe 12. Actually, no. I've been aware of mortality as a concept maybe, not even maybe, at the age of 5, I was aware of the concept of mortality. At the age of 7, I basically had overcome it. That I have, you know, that I'm a mortal being myself. You know, there were several years afterwards that I basically was kind of re-combating it, if that makes sense, or more or less that I kind of had to readdress it because it filled me with a certain level of nihilism that didn't exactly feel healthy. But yeah, I'm not too concerned. I know that I'm how do I put this? A temporal being. I'm not gonna be here forever. And I've never been actually worried about that kind of stuff. It doesn't really bother me. Like, thank goodness that my time here is actually limited, you know? Oh, great. What is that, 8th place? Wonderful. I guess that happened later for me then. Yeah, it's... You know, different people, different circumstances. Several near-death experiences would do that to you as well. Lord knows I had at least a couple of them. Like, me personally, I could have died at least like 3 or 4 times throughout my lifetime so far. At least. Like, that I can remember. So... I have almost drowned at the beach because of undercurrents pulling me into some weird hole that was like right at the shore. I could have been mauled by a bear as I was having a solo hike in a mountain. I could have died by high fever when I was reaching 41, what was it? Yes, 40 to 41 degrees Celsius. During my strongest fever. Could have killed myself from depression at least twice. Like, heavy depression. We're not talking, I feel sad today. I don't feel like going to work today. I'm talking about, like, proper depression. We're talking about, like, I can't get out of bed. Not because I'm physically unable. But because there's no drive in me anymore. And I guess that throat abscess. I could count the throat abscess because it was starting to close up my throat to the point where I was barely breathing. Let me think. No, I think that's pretty much it. Oh, and that one time I got stabbed in the ribs. But that's like a redundant story. More or less, the idiot who tried to stab me ended up actually lodging the knife between my ribs, and he didn't actually puncture anything vital or serious. So, yeah. Still have to get stitches. I still have a scar on my, you know, on my side. I got stabbed, but I got better. Yeah, more or less. Also, it's not the Baltics. I don't recall where the Baltics were, but we're talking about the Balkans. There's a difference between the two. You know, this is a character that usually is set up to play pirates, but these Murlocs, man. Okay, pirate, good. Baltic states is Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. Yeah, that's a little... It's close, but not close enough. Like Estonia and Latvia, I'm fairly certain are kind of close by. Maybe a country apart. Yeah, the Balkans are called the Balkans because we are located and situated in the Balkan Peninsula. I should know that as Baltic Princess is a well-known cruise ship and it frequents Estonia. Oh, that's cool. For cheap export alcohol. Excellent. What else? What else would it be? Lord knows I'm aware about cheap alcohol. Good fucking graces, you have no idea. A 2-liter beer bottle here is about €2. Maybe 3. Maybe some cigarettes. Yep, that one as well. Those are a little bit more expensive. I think they're now reaching about 4 or 5 euros, I think. Maybe? I don't know. I'm not exactly a smoker. But yeah, times. Oh yeah, and as I was cleaning the floors today, my broom broke. I have basically I have 2 different, cleaning utensils for the floors. I would first go with, I don't know the price of cigarettes, I've never bought them. And you have to ask the cashier to buy one and name the brand and they tell you the price. Yeah, it's a whole thing. Not to mention the small fact that you could also be rolling your own ciggies and just buying tobacco and the rolling materials rather than the actual thing, and they're from the same product as well. It's like a whole thing. But yeah. Most of our stuff around here is kind of... which is good. Considering that next year our minimum wage is going to be 620 euros. Officially now, because we're converting to the euro. Which a lot of people... Are you The fuck is happening? Hello? Oh, for the... Bruh. Yeah, this is why. You know? There aren't a lot of things that can piss me off, but like... Yeah. It's because my internet blipped. And it's basically what's been happening for me the entirety of the day. It's just been like a series of small oopsie doodles. A stream of small, oops, it happened again. Oops, this happened. Oops, that happened. So basically, as I was saying, I was cleaning the floors today. I have two cleaning utensils. One of them is like a soft brush broom. That's like not for it's not exactly for sweeping. It's more for actually scrubbing. But it's like on this long handle, so I don't actually have to be on my hands and knees scrubbing the floor. And then we have what is basically the equivalent of a mop. So my lovely brush just decided today to break at the head. So the part that screws into the actual, you know, brush head is still in there. And now I just have a long-ass haft, and I was nowhere even remotely close to the finishing with that thing. So I got upset by that. I am also, you know, as I said previously, my appetite has been going down the drain. I'm not feeling hungry, and I'm not feeling like I don't have the same amount of taste when it comes to the food. Like it doesn't taste as good as it used to. At least that's how it feels. I don't think it's true, but like that's how it feels. Which is to say the least not great. Thank goodness we have cooked food, because if I was in this mood on my own, I wouldn't have been cooking. I would have just gotten bread and cheese and ate that. However, since I actually have my grandma to take care of, make sure that she's fine and make sure that she's eating properly, I actually have several meals actually ready and cooked. However, I don't want to eat them. Like, I don't know. It's just... I'll chalk it down to seasonal depression, because I know for sure that, like, by the time the next week comes around, stress. I wouldn't say it's stress. I have nothing to be stressed about. Money's fine. I have a roof over my head. My bills are paid. My grandma's doing fine. She's a little bit tuckered out, but then again, it's also because it's winter. She's doing her damnedest to, you know, do her workouts and everything. But, you know, she's 81. You can only do something so, you know, you kind of can't get physically in shape that quickly, especially if you've been, you know, laying about for a little bit too long. So I can't blame her if she's, you know, if she's progressing a little bit slower now. At the end of the day, she's still progressing. My family appreciates what I do and loves me. They support me all the time. My, you know, my friends and my close friends are always great and supportive and everything like that. It's just, you know, seasonal depression. It's pretty much all of it. Wouldn't say it's exactly great, but can't really do much about it either, can I? But yeah, this is also another thing that basically has been helping me out a bunch, I guess. It's the small fact that I actually, you know, I actually have people to share these things with. I'm not on my own. I don't feel on my own. Which I'm truly blessed about, by the way. Saw slight sunlight behind the grey clouds today for like 2 hours. Hell yeah. Gotta love Icelandic countries. Sunlight. Okay, that does exist. I just wish that I could at least, you know, depend on my circadian rhythm when it comes to waking up, because I've been waking up late as well. Not because I've not been sleeping, mind you. For the last 4 or 5 days, I've been sleeping really well. Like, we're talking 8, 9, even sometimes 10 plus hours. However, I would really like to actually wake up at roughly around, I would say, 9 a.m. 9 a.m. is a good time to wake up for me. However, that's not been happening. Been waking up at around 10. And I've been trying to adjust, you know, pretty much everything to make to more or less make it happen. And it's not been working out. When sun rises around 11, it's hard. Yeah, but like, there's still a change in lighting, you know? Even if the sun doesn't come around roughly at the same time, there's still a change in lighting. I can't experience that because they've basically put stadium lights for night lights on the road where I am. My terrace is permanently illuminated to the point where I don't actually need to turn on the lights to see clearly what's happening there. These lights are so powerful that everybody second floor and below just has to roll down their blinds. If you don't have blackouts, you're screwed. Like, if I currently roll my larger blackout curtain, I wouldn't have need for lighting in this room. It's so bad. So, sleeping with my blinds off is a no-go. I can't do it. Like, physically I cannot, because it's just, you know, it's LED white light just streaming down my face the entire night. It ain't good. Okay, we're gonna swap this guy around with this guy. We're gonna give him health after a couple of more rotations. That's a gold grubber. Don't necessarily need them right now, but in a couple of more turns maybe. I'll take pants. But yeah, I can't rely on my circadian rhythm at all. My other solution was basically figuring out some kind of automation for my blinds, so they would basically roll up when the time comes. But I feel like that's kind of dumb. Eudora. Piece of shit. I've also been picking up on a lot of jargon from The Sopranos, as well as, I'm not gonna lie, there are certain topics that they address that they're like, I don't know, they hit a little bit too close to home sometimes with certain topics. It might just be me, it might just be my age, but like, oh... Some of the things. Man, oh man, some of the things. Okay, I don't need that tier 7 scout. It's not gonna give me anything good. What did I tell you? Hot garbage. All of it. I have never seen Sopranos, but I remember one TikTok wanting to be a gangster and eat cold-cut meat sandwiches banger video. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, these gangsters are really into their gabagool. He was also carrying around a VHS player under his arm. Don't recall that one. Might be later down the series, because it does have several seasons. Oh, fuck. Oh, you done fucked me up. You done goddamn me up, son. Even gave the VHS player a cigarette puff on. That's incredible. Yeah, I don't think I've seen that episode. Should watch it too. I think I'd enjoy it. I think you would. It's a good series. Ah, that was the pirate I needed. Oh well. found a really good way to stat up my pirates, which is good. It's also why I kept the scarab. You want your plate pads? Help! You'll have to pry them from my cold dead hands! No way! Oh. I was gonna pick up the armor, but I then realized that we're actually in the top 4 positioning, so there's no point. Because now the damage cap is off. Even if I had more than 15 health, I would have been knocked out of the game. Much rather actually spend it on actual things that are gonna give me money. Be really nice if I actually get some decent pirates like that one. Problem is I have to sell 2. And I think it's gonna be the plunderer. I need the cycle point. Can finally show up. Okay, Tethys played its part. Tier 4 below minion goes golden. Should have actually picked my cleave. Luckily the game is generous. I still want to rip my house down and start all over. Ah. But no floor plan is ready yet. I mean, you can... It's fine. You don't have to worry about that too much. Ooh, that's big. That's big consumes there. I should have frozen for that one. Oh, come on, you fucking bukyat. I should have taken that armor. Oh well, 3rd place for 3rd people. I'm quite happy with what I've set up so far with my house, but I feel like I'm definitely, once I get better capacity for rooms and stuff, I'll probably set it up a little bit different. We'll see. Can I get something less garbage, please? This is one of the few moments where I'll actually use one of my rerolls. Yeah, it's just a series of, like, annoying events that have just stacked up on top of each other. Kicking me in the balls. Get something that's less shit, I guess. Hopefully tomorrow I feel a little bit better. Because I do have a couple of games that are on my backlog that I kind of would like to actually get into. And you know what, with the new Divinity announced, we might actually do a little Divinity stream. That might be nice. Like, we can play Divinity Original Sin 2, play through all of that. That's gonna be a lot of playtime, though. And the game is best played with other people around. Problem is that I don't know if I have anybody that would have the time to sit down for so long. Patient Scout. You done fucked me up. Okay. That's very interesting. But yeah, I need to go back and get some more cosmetics and stuff like that. I need to level up my house. I've just been a lazy shit. I really like World of Warcraft, but whenever I don't have, like, I don't know, content to strive for, I kind of just I kind of lose interest. As in, like, there's no content to do, as in progressing and stuff like that. There's nothing that actually grabs my attention at the moment. Strive for best house. I can't beat you. That's not a possibility. Like, you have this level of attention to detail that I just can't replicate or even, you know, get close to. Put flower pot in every corner. Tempting. I actually might do that. I would like to have, like, a little, like, semi-open garden plot right next to my kitchen where I could have, like, a little garden. As if, you know, I'm growing my own fresh herbs. Unfortunately, they still haven't said anything, I would assume, about indoor. Also the basement. Yeah, the basement would be pretty fun as well. I think you can actually move your entry point just the second floor. I think you can pick up the door and move it, which is also, like, I think where you would start off in the house. I haven't checked it out. Maybe I'll try. I'll try to move my Haven't tried that. Yeah. You did mention it yesterday. I thought that might be the best way to do it. This is not a setup for pigs. Somehow. Undead. Pirate. I'll take the income. Meanwhile, I want to blow up my hard work, typical creative mind. I guess that's fair. To be fair, I myself sometimes revisit the stuff that I've done in the past, but I don't... How do I put this? But yeah, there's no rating, so it's easy to get sucked into this. Yeah, it's... I don't know. I think part of the fact that there was rating was the reason why I'm so interested in World of Warcraft. Like, the lore didn't really grab me, you know? Like, ethereals are cool and all, but they didn't really make it as interesting as they could, in my opinion. Lore and WoW, yeah, it's... yeah. Yeah. Bit sad, innit? What I've seen of Midnight, the oversimplification continues. I mean, don't get me wrong. It comes along with some good stuff, I feel like. For me, especially, mainly because, you know, I get some really good stuff out of it. Okay. Looks like we're doing some weird undead shenanigans. From pirate to naga to dragon. Okay, that's... yeah, I would like nothing more than to yell my head off at the moment, as I am receiving some top tier garbage. And playing Quillbore will not work because it's based on blood gems, which are not tavern spells. It's so funny that it's on the Alliance housing land where they have a graveyard. Like, who do I talk about that choice? Ah. If you don't have a graveyard, just make one. Might need to fill it with something, though. Don't know what you're gonna figure about that. Wait, Elden Ring is streaming? Oh no, people are streaming. Only 8.5k viewers. Wild. Was never expecting Elden Ring to be that slow. I have an overgrown graveyard in my backyard now. Hell yeah. Keep yourself close to home. Even one half-buried coffin. Yeah, yeah. I like how I purchased myself several coffins and I've just strewn them about the entirety of my premises. Why? Because I have a lot of coffin friends. However, this thing is problematic. It's really good, but I wonder who lives in this plot sees a pile of coffin. Chrome. Who else would it be? Oh god, you goddamn coffin licker, get out of there! Trying to figure out how to hide the ceiling if made a garden room. I really hope that they just give us like an observatory-esque setup. You know? How many? 1, 2, 3 people are gonna be attempting to run Quillbores. Mixed pirates, undead, mixed undead. Right. Something out with tavern spells. It's not great. But yeah, it would be nice if they just gave us a customizing option that basically gives you like ceiling options for the night sky or some shit like that. Or just gives us like a greenery setup. That wouldn't be bad either. I don't know. I actually spent one evening building an indoor garden, including a door to the outside with tall windows. Didn't like it, tore it all down next morning. Yeah. Completely respectable decision if you ask me. Wow, this guy's really into the pigs. Great. They didn't spend much time handcrafting those doors, nope. It's... You know what it is? It's also the small fact that I currently... currently we don't have a lot of features that I would like to have. And until that changes, I think I will be hanging back. Because there's a lot of customization things that I would like to do and I can't. Wow, that's cursed. Why would you give me that? This is really good for me. This is really good for me. Small problem. I don't have neither Naga nor... Actually, somebody playing Nagas? No. Okay. I'll try something a little bit drastic. Might come back and bite me in the ass, I wouldn't be surprised. Those are not Nagas on freeze. Hang in the goon room. I mean, if you ask me, every room is a goon room if you're brave enough. No lies. Hell yeah. No gooning in the sauna, says you. That would be rude. But how would they know that I really enjoyed my sauna? Leave a nice letter. Nah, that doesn't send the message as well as it could. Not a goon. But I could leave my signature. Are you sure? Maybe they want my signature. Maybe they want my signature. Not the pine walls. Oh god, it's gonna seep into the pine. No. Stop him, officer. Stop him. You have a funny scent here. What kind of pine is this? I was gonna say something, but I would much rather not. It would be really nice, since nobody else is playing Nagas, for the Nagas to, you know, kind of drop for me. As you can tell, that's going really well. Okay, we'll riff that one with overconfidence into Wind Furies. We'll get another Deep Blue Pruner. Sell this guy. Play another spell. Just like play as many spells as you can. Not that you saw the scent, Gooner. Oh, look, I'm about to die. Because the game decided to not give me anything. Undead, Dragon, Pirate, Quillbore, Dragon, Quillbore, Naga, Undead. There's one Naga player, it's me. I got screwed out of it. Okay, I'll do one final one. If I lose again like that, if I lose miserably like that again, I'll just call this for now. I'm so under the weather today. Like I wasn't feeling all right yesterday, but I'm not feeling great today. Funny card game. Funnily enough, it's what I play mostly in my time off. Because it's the one... how do I put this? Auto chess has this appeal to me and a lot of my friends that you can play it with one hand and you don't have to pay too much attention to the game. Because what we usually do is we watch something in the meantime. Like, we don't just play the game, we actually watch something on the side and play the game. Or we talk about something and we play the game. Or all three at the same time. But yeah, it's... Yeah, it's one of them games. It's not... Yeah, it's not intrusive enough. See, I don't understand card games, so I have no idea what's happening. This isn't even technically the card game itself. This is like a side thing. So, but the Hearthstone itself is like an actual card game that I haven't played in years. But Hearthstone Battlegrounds is basically the auto chess alternative of it. It came around roughly a little bit after Dota Underlords became a thing. Actually, no, it was Dota Underlords, and then League of Legends released Team... no, it was... Yeah. Dota Underlords into Hearthstone Battlegrounds into Teamfight Tactics. Look, we're having the same start like last time. Patient Scout. Guess we can grab some health. We'll freeze for these two so we can get them next turn. We'll do some undead. But yeah, what we're currently doing is basically at the start of the round, where you fight against 8 other opponents, you select one of 2 characters or one of 4 characters if you're buying the battle pass. Yeah, it's a different game mode altogether. So each and every character has their own special powers. For example, I'm currently playing as Zephrys. I have 3 wishes. So whenever I have 2 copies of a minion, I can find the third. I have 3 of these. So I can triple a minion very easily. Now, tripling a minion basically means getting 3 exact copies of the same thing. So if I have this Risen Rider, it's great. If I have 1 more, you know, I'm getting really close to tripling it. So I would probably want to hold it for a little bit until it's either no longer as viable to keep it around, or it's I get the third one and I triple it. And when you triple... basically the minion retains all added stats, and it's double the stats of the normal one. So the Risen Rider baseline is 2-1. The golden one would be a 4-2, and it would still keep the Taunt Reborn. But it would also have 3 extra health that you can see at the bottom, because I casted a Tavern spell on it called Fortification, which gives it a 0-3, so it gives it 3 health and Taunt. It already had a Taunt innately, so it didn't give it taunt, but it still gave it a bit more health, which gives it a little bit more survivability. Now, basically, at the pool, as you can see, there's a grand total of 10 minion types. And minion types are basically what the game revolves around. So you have beasts, demons, naga, pirates, undead, dragons, elementals, mechs, murlocs, and quillbore. And each and every one of these types basically has a different playstyle to it. So, for example, I'm currently setting myself up for undeads. Now, undeads have 2 or 3 different ways themselves to be played. As in... Oh, okay. Interesting. So, for example, these undeads I can play on just basically having the undeads have insane amounts of attack, and said undead minions usually have, like, death rattle summon to 1/1 skeleton. So there's certain spells that basically, or certain character minions and stuff like that, that increase the overall attack of every single undead, even if it's summoned in combat. So what you would do is basically stack a whole bunch of attack, and you would basically out-survive the other fighter purely because, they hit 1 minion, it summons 2 more, it still has insane amounts of attacks. Maybe there survives, but there's 2 extra minions that he has to deal with now with super high attack damage. And, you basically take him out and you still have a couple of minions that you summoned left, which is what basically deals damage to the characters. So, you can see how the round goes. I start combat with some random guy. He's obviously way better equipped than I am at the moment, because I'm playing late game stuff. Because this minion is what I'm currently trying to work with. It's called a Patient Scout. It's a 2-star minion that basically has an end of turn effect that when you sell it, you get to discover a higher tier minion. So this one has been on my board for 4 turns, and now it can become a tier 4 minion once I sell it. Now, I'm not planning on selling it that soon, so we will not be worrying about that. But now, and this is a specific affix, what just happened I'll explain in a bit. So in 2 more turns, this will be a tier 6 minion, which is the highest tier minion that you can have. At which point I'll sell it. I'm currently attempting to triple it, so it gives me 2 tier 6 minion. Now, I could use my 3 wishes here in a gamble, more or less, to have it tripled. And why is it the gamble is fairly simple? Because 3 wishes... Actually, there is a way. If they're first on the line... Nope. There's basically a 50-50 chance it just picks, the minion that I didn't want to triple, which is exactly what happened. Inconveniently enough. Okay, we can use the macaw. The other 2 ways are basically oversummon, where basically you would have, like, for example, this summons 4 1/1 skeletons, but you only have 7 minions on the board available at all times. So what you could do is you would place it here first, and there's a tier 5 minion called the Cadaver Caretaker, which would then give the other remaining minions on the board stats based on how many minions didn't get summoned. So if this summons 4 1/1 skeletons, if I put it on first position, it's going to summon only 1 skeleton. The rest of the 3 are not going to be summoned, and they're going to be considered what we would like to call oversummon. Whenever you oversummon, this minion gives stats to the other minions based on how many minions you've oversummoned. So you might notice now that my undeads have 4 attack. It's because a Nubarak basically triggers Death Rattle, give your undeads +1 attack. I have the Monstrous Macaw, which is a rally, which basically whenever it attacks it does something. And this rally specifically is basically trigger the leftmost minion's battle cry. Death Rattle, I should say. I think I'm just gonna level cripple. Now this is incredibly good. This is incredibly good. That actually might have solved my concerns this game. As a matter of fact. Now, I don't think I'm gonna need this anymore. I would have loved to sell this now, but it's not at tier 6, and tier 6 minions are usually what make or break the game. And this macaw is actually kind of useful, because most of the undead traits more or less run on death rattle. And this triggers the leftmost death rattle. So if I wanted to set up over summon, and this guy is also incredibly good because your death rattles triggered an extra time. So this bonehead would now summon 8 1/1 skeleton. So you can see how, you know, there's like a progression of how scary these things are, simply because one extra card was found. So now instead of this guy giving me +1 attack, it's +2 attack. But because there's a macaw and him, it's basically going to be +4 attack in total. But I also have way more minions to summon now. Like, way more. Except right now I could get... Okay, that's good. I could have gotten severely unlucky, which would have been basically him hitting the Titus, and my death rattles not triggering, you know, twice. But I got lucky. Yeah, it also requires a certain level of luck. Unfortunately, can't have a game that doesn't. That's not perfect when it comes to undeads. That's not good at all when it comes to undeads. So what just happened is that I sold my scout for tier 6 minions, and I got one undead minion which is not synergizing with anything that I currently have set up. And a minion that gives you tavern spell stats. So basically this, whenever you cast a tavern spell, your undead get more attack. This improves the overall tavern spells that give you stats. So if this is 2-1 at the end of the turn, this is going to become a 2-3. A 3-2, my bad. Yeah, this definitely looks like an oversummon game. Yeah, I'm not going to be using this. Okay. Ah. And that's what we call a dumb maneuver. Because if I hadn't sold that one, I could have actually had a setup for basically spamming tavern spells. Oh, and I'm fighting against Tess Greymane, which is very bad for me, because she basically refreshes the tavern with plain copies of your last opponent's warband. And she's playing undeads, which is exactly the same thing I'm playing. So not only is she getting a second Titus Riven there, she also just got 2 Anubaraks. This is what we call in the industry a big fuck. Oh, I could have done it like this as well. Okay, it better not triple the one in my hand! And this is what we call a spit in the face in the industry. Is whenever the game decides to give you exactly what you need when you don't have money. So you make some crappy sacrifices that don't pay off in the slightest. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, well, not much I can do here. It's not gonna lie, it's annoying. I understand some more now. Yeah, it's... You kind of get a... Also, yeah, no, it's... It is what it is. I would really like to set this up, because I have a really good setup for oversummon. However, I need that specific undead that gives you, you know, stats whenever you oversummon. Because this guy is really good for that. So what I would do is basically have this war ghoul. I would have my macaw kill it. And then I'll position this caretaker right next to it, so it would summon 12, you know, 12 skeletons. Oh look, this guy's doing undeads better than I am. Whoop-de-fucking-do. What just happened is the most abysmal trade that I could potentially do in this entire game. Now, what is the worst thing that can happen to me right now is if the two rightmost minions survive, which they did. Because these guys are higher tier stats. Basically, whenever somebody defeats you, the tier of the minion, so you can see that's a tier 3 minion, that's a tier 5 minion. The tiers of the minion that stay whenever you get defeated add up, and that's the damage that you take. So it just ate shit is basically what happened. I just ate shit. And not a little bit of shit, a lot of shit. What could have been a slap on the wrist ended up being a punch in the throat. So, what I'm planning on doing now is basically hoping, sweet baby Jesus, that I will survive till next turn. Because that's the only thing I can do right now. Massive rollover occurred. Wait. Delicious chicken legs before embarking an ocean salmon search? Salmon search. Ah. As our family Christmas table needs salmon. Ah. Wait, for Christmas? Isn't it a little bit early? There's like 9 days till Christmas. Put it in freezer. I guess. It's just... Oh! I'm about to get my shit pushed in! Wait, no, never mind. False alarm, false alarm. There might not be enough in store closer to the time. I guess, yeah, that makes sense. I got incredibly lucky there. Incredibly lucky. Okay, well, I think it's now time to turn around this game and actually win. Problem is that I would really like to actually have more attack on my undeads, but if it just keeps doing the carapace thing, it might be fine. Because the setup right now is basically this improves my tavern spells, but this has a death rattle to give me a tavern spell that basically has, you know, minions have 5/3 until next turn. So I fill my hand up with these, that are going, you know, they're becoming stronger and stronger every single time I basically have an end turn. And you can see the result, like that's a plus 40, 24 stat on them. And it also works for the summons, which is basically the one weak point of summon setups for undead. It's the small fact that every single undead basically has 1 HP. Which means that they hit once and they're gone. However, you know, now that they have like 20-something extra health, the chances of them dying instantly is not as high. And they also have way more attack. So previously this guy would have been basically unkillable for me. Luckily not so anymore. Also, the amount of times I'm triggering that death rattles is insane. And I probably should figure out a way to basically lower the amount. Like, I should basically put some other death rattle in that position. Next to the guy that triggers death rattles on adjacent minions. Overconfident. Man, this is all garbage. I mean, I guess I can play with the Winter Grasp. But I wouldn't have enough space in my hand to actually use it. So what my hopes currently are is that I can triple the Handless Forsaken. So I can have that empty board space so I can sell all of these other minions or actually reduce my overall size of hand. Because there's a limit on how many cards I can have in my hand at a time. Problem is, this guy has been playing like a weird Beast Undead comp probably for a couple of turns now. Which means that he probably has something insanely well set up. If only I had the Cadaver Caretaker. Not the Cadaver Caretaker, I'm talking about the Tomb something. The over summon individual, so I can basically grab this Caretaker, put it right next to the War Ghoul. Look at that! He only has like 374 stat on his fucking Titus Riven there. It's nothing! Don't worry about it. Oh, that parrot, the golden parrot, you definitely didn't steal it from me. Nah! Triple death rattle on the Eudora that gives you permanent stats? Nah! And that's why I hate with a passion Test Greymane. Because it's a no-skill character. You just have to get lucky with who you fight against. Because look at this shit. I can't even beat the... Yeah, no, that's it. That's it for me for today. That's it for me for today. being beaten by something like this never sits well with me. So I'm gonna call it here for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you. Really appreciate everybody who came around. If you're new to the channel, like what you see, hit the follow button. It helps the channel grow. Let me just check something. I'll look into my I'll look into my folder, see what I have available for me at the moment when it comes to video games. I know I have a couple of them. Not even a couple, a whole bunch of them that I would like to play. But it's just... Okay, how about we don't have Dune updates whenever I'm trying to talk, eh? It's also a bit, you know, how much do I want to play these things? I'm thinking of maybe coming back to, what was it? The Helldivers 2, but I'm just kind of waiting until they actually, release the, like, the lower-sized files. So, right now... Oh, that's interesting. So, I have a game that's in beta at the moment, and I actually have 3 invites for it. For a Steam playtesting, Expedition into Darkness, which is like a little co-op thing. We have... I don't know if I'm gonna enjoy that. I'm fairly certain I had a couple of other ones that I was looking into. Where's the... Jesus, brain. I was thinking of playing Blasphemous 1 and 2. I feel like Blasphemous might be a nice little playthrough that we can run. What else? If I find somebody to play Magicka 2 with, that would be fun. I have the Warhammer 40k Mechanicus that I would really like to play. But I was kind of saving it until I get my character update. Before I do that, have like a little celebration of it. I have something called the Bureau XCOM Declassified, but I feel like that might be something very stupid. Because XCOM is kind of stupid for me. We have PoE 2, I guess. Because they do occasional updates and stuff like that. Might be interesting. What else? I mean, to be honest with you, I don't even know. I've also not been feeling that much like playing any video games, but that obviously can't happen because what else am I gonna play on this fucking stream otherwise? Or what am I gonna do with the stream otherwise? I do not know. So yeah, I might start Blasphemous tomorrow. Unless I don't feel like it, and then I'm probably just gonna... I'm probably just gonna play some more Warhammer Space Marine. But yeah, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and hopefully we're gonna see each other